So definitely. So, but yeah, I usually pay for everything that I have. And so that's why I work. I just told you the other day, I'm like, well, I have a really busy schedule. I work 6 days a week and then my training, I have
Mhm.
one day off, but it's worth it to me. To me, I see it as, uh, to save for an experience. To me, that's not an experience that everyone gets to do. Is worth it. So I don't mind putting in an extra day of work, or things like that. Skip out on some things because I know in the end I'm going to be able to make it up in other areas.
Yeah, that's good because you know what? If you like, one thing is if you ever want to think about sponsorship, set up a contract with somebody. If it's like a local business, that's good.
Right.
Someone can say, "Hey, just need somebody to cover my like costs of travel, or my food expense, or my coach's expenses." And also, maybe you talk to someone who knows how to get a suit a discount, because it's the one thing, your suits alone, that's
Oh, they're
either
expensive.
that's your rent, that's a mortgage, that's your car note,
Yeah,
that's
so
you.
true.
So because you know what, that thing is, the guys got wear their banana hams and boy shorts at the most is maybe $100,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Not
then
yeah.
what?
The women's
Yeah,
is
and then
crazy.
yeah, and the food. The one thing is like the cost of food. Guys do eat more, but y'all women do have to eat because you need that. Like I often ask you ladies, like this, especially after shows, what's that thing? Especially when you get to have your cheat meal, your refeed, Susan. What's that thing that makes you stranger and makes you stronger? That thing you
Oh my
crave
goodness.
for? What's that? That craving.
You know what? This is the thing. I don't really have a food that I just really love. Sometimes it'll be as simple as, you know what? I think I want just a big thick thing of cheese and some salami, and I'm good. I'll be honest. A long time ago, I had a sweet tooth that was just I could not get control of my sweet tooth. That costed me getting my pro card. I could have probably got, my coach would always say at the time, you probably could have gotten your pro card 2 years prior, but you were not ready. And it wasn't until he said, I feel like I'm putting the effort into it and you're not. And that's what turned me around as, oh, wait a minute. He's trying to do everything he can as a coach. And so that's what turned me around. And then sure enough, I ended up getting my pro card. But no, so I really do try to stay away from junk food. Not to say I don't have it, every now and then, but I definitely try to limit to it to just like, okay, maybe once a month, or if that. No fast food whatsoever. I never do fast food. I've gotten away from that a long time ago. You won't see me in any fast food. I really don't have a desire or craving. If someone sat there and said, okay, end of the show, you did great. We're going to go down to the, Italian or Mexican or whatever, I'll be like, all right, let's go. I'll make it work no matter what. So I don't really have a certain craving, to be honest.
Yeah,
So
she likes a big piece of cheese and some salami. Not
there
the
you
salami
go.
y'all thinking about. It's salami, guys. It's not you sick freaks. But
I
yeah,
love
I
cheese and salami. That's a great go-to be honest.
see when we were coming up, we have salami. It was there was used to be a place, but my parents were sharecroppers. They worked the fields, and my mom used to work. Sometimes she'd get off. She'd go to this place. There's a store, and it had cheese and it had bologna. And so she'd get it sliced, and we get the bread and the bologna. We should eat that. I don't eat too much. Like I said, one point before I was nearly 500 pounds after my mom passed. And then I started to make some changes. I was doing pretty good, but I feel like I'm pre-diabetic. I have a sweet tooth. It's like the sugar's like crack. I be calling your name, man. Be calling my name. They call me Pookie. They be calling me, man. They be calling me. But I'm like I said, I'm not a bodybuilder, but I do try to eat smart. I try to eat things that are good for you, but I like the things sweet, the things salty, things like that. But that's a part of the process. It's about making those choices, those healthy choices, the things that really helps you in your path as an athlete and a bodybuilder.
Well, yeah, you definitely have to have that. I'll be honest. I didn't like fish. I hated fish. I like it now, but it took time for me to acquire the taste for fish. That fish is a big part of your diet, and cannot stand greens. I'll be honest. I am not a vegetable eater, and I will not eat vegetables until my coach says you got to eat some vegetables now. Like, okay, mom, But I'll be honest. Off season, I'm amazed that I've been blessed with really, really good health. But I'm very limited on greens. I know I shouldn't be, but I just never really liked them, that wasn't the part of my diet. But somewhere I'm getting enough nutrients somewhere because I'm still growing, So I don't know. I hope I don't regret it down the road. We'll see.
Yeah, I know. I'm more of a meat potatoes guy myself too, but I eat a little more broccoli. I try to, I don't do too many greens. I know I need to, but I don't, yeah. Even when my
That's
mom
so
cooked them,
good.
when my mom cooked greens, it was with some a little bit of oil, some a piece of ham in the pot. That's how she cooked greens, not like it's steamed like that. That's how
Oh,
she
yeah.
cooked greens. That's because, like I said, I'm from the South. For our greens, man, we put a little ham, a little butter, a little yeah, like that. But
Oh,
that's
there
not the
you
way you're
go.
supposed. That's very fatty. That's very fatty. But when I used to eat it, it tastes good. But yeah, that's the part of the process. You got to make those choices. I know
Yeah.
they used to tell me that they can't go, friendships change because they can't go out and hang out and do what you like to do, and you have to make those decisions, especially when you want to get into sport, when you want to be the best. If you want to get to say like the Olympia or a show like the Texas Pro or any competition, and that's a good thing that your coach told you what you needed to do, and that turns you around.
Yeah.
It's you have to
Yes.
make those decisions if you want to really make a career or just a living or just to be a best athlete you can in bodybuilding.
Yeah, it's so true. You do. And yet you still need to make sure that your personal life, this is something I chose to do. This is something that I said, ooh, I want to get up there with the pros, okay? So I am seeing somebody and he's not a bodybuilder. So this year I told myself I'm gonna balance out my competition prep with my personal life. I never could stand the fact that now I understand if it's like a big, a big trip. It's like, okay, taking a big trip during prep is probably not the best thing to do. However, I love Comic Con. Show me a toy convention, I'll be there, and I'm collecting all my little superheroes and everything else like that. My boyfriend actually is so cute. He made a comic character of me, and I love it. It looks just like me. But anyways, we do like to go to the movies. We do like to walk around. We like to go to Ybor and some of these, the Bay, Bayside and all these other places. And I'm not going to limit myself just because I'm on prep, nor am I going to do that to my boyfriend. He did not ask me to go on prep. He's just being supportive. So I believe that if you do decide to be a competitor, if it's in PC or as a pro, you need to learn to be able to mix and mingle and say, you know what, I don't need that drink, or I don't need that dessert, or I don't need those, fries and hamburger, and I'm still going to sit down and go to the movies and enjoy myself without all of that, because then are you really ever enjoying the place you're at, or are you just enjoying the food, that you're at, and then the place is second. You know what I'm saying? So this year, I've been really good at still going to family functions and everything else like that, but skipping the food part. Not missing my workouts, not missing my cardio. If you plan everything, you can do both, simultaneously.
Yeah, I know, ladies, you have to always have a plan, and it's good just okay, just go to a event, bring your own food sometimes because you don't want to,
Yeah.
especially now summer's starting to hit up and barbecues will start kicking. My sister just had her 67th birthday a while back. I enjoyed it. She's my big sister. And it was nice seeing my family and friends and get around them. And she had some ribs and sausage, and and like I said, I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder. I'm just a guy, and it's tough to make those decisions. And it's good to find somebody that supports you because I know ladies who told me because relationships change because this sport can be emotionally, physically, and mentally, financially, spiritually draining. And it's
Yeah.
good to find somebody who's willing to not put up with you, who loves you for you and is willing to share you with you and to stand by you while you're going through this. I've ladies told me that they got divorced or they broke up because they just couldn't handle it. But if he knows who you are and he understands what you're doing and he respects that, he's not trying to change you. He lets you
Right.
and you're not trying to change him. But maybe, like I said again, about bodybuilding, like doing this content, you ladies really influenced me. Because one point, like I said again, I started doing exercise. At one point, I was exercising a good bit, but my knees they bother me sometimes. The issues with my shoulders. I got to see a specialist about that. But I really learned some things in my conversations, like what the health things, choices I got to make. And I said, I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder, but I am trying to just live just a little longer if I can.
You know what? And that's you hit it right on the nail. Accepting each other for who you are. We have a lot in common, but we're also very much like opposite. He's very familiar with the bodybuilding industry. However, he's not a bodybuilder, and he's like everyone else. He goes to the gym, when he has time, and if he doesn't have time and something better comes up, he's going to take off and do whatever he does. And that's okay because he does understand that I'm quite the opposite. It's like I got to get my sleep, my food, my workouts, everything else. And then when we travel, just know that Susan's going to want to do all these little gyms every now and then. Let me go and visit all the fun. I love gym hopping, I call it, going to new gyms. Every gym has a different atmosphere, and he'll come with me, and he may not find it as exciting as me, but then on the flip side, he too is also into the toy collecting and everything. So we have that in common, and we love going out with that together. So and we just learned how to accept each other and balance each other. I don't think I could. I have before. I dated a bodybuilder before, and for me, it didn't work out because I'll be honest. I don't want to focus on somebody else's prep, to be honest. I want only one bodybuilder in the relationship, and that just happens to be me. I do not want to deal with somebody going on their prep. And now you guys can say like, wow, you're very selfish. I'm just being realistic. And that's where, my boyfriend is, he offers different it's not just bodybuilding. He says you're more than just a bodybuilder. You're not just a bodybuilder. And when he told me that, I was like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Yes, I'm a bodybuilder. I eat and live it. He's like, no, there's more to Susan than just bodybuilding. And he's right. Everyone should have that to be well-rounded. You can focus on something, but you have to have a nice balance. And that's what we have in our relationship, and that's what I enjoy. So, but yeah, only one bodybuilder for me, and that's just going to happen to be me.
Yeah,
So,
he's gonna stand by you. Same time, he knows who you're gonna, but you're his woman. And as any man, you stand by your woman. My mom was my woman. I took care of her. I stood by my woman till she was gone. And that's good when you have a good man like that. I know your kids
yeah,
like him. That's a good thing. And they respect it because you're the mother. They want you to see you to be happy. And it's good to
yeah,
find something like that because I know people who have both in bodybuilding relationship both going to Pepsi, kind of tough, but some people know how to do it. Some people don't. It's just if you really love somebody and you can stand by, see the imperfections, and even see the best or worst of them at times, and still be willing to stand by them, that's great. But if you're not the type of
yeah,
person, then it's best to maybe either not be in a relationship or find somebody who's willing to let you be the front foot of the relationship and sit and put themselves aside for a bit. But understand that y'all are a couple, y'all together. I know these days when you come home from work, he's there to take care of his girl and say, hey, I got you, baby. I got the food set up for you. Everything's prepped. You're ready, you're set. If you need anything from me, let me know. That is great when you have something like that.
wait, let's back up there here.
What?
Back
What?
up.
What?
He doesn't do that.
He does it? Oh,
No. But you know what? I like that. I like that. No. I'll be honest. I think I can be a little bit challenging in a relationship. I just expect you do, you do you, and I'll take care of me, and we're very supportive. And when I mean that, meaning you do you, as you're going to fix your own dinner, and you're going to fix your own lunch and breakfast, and I'm going to fix my own because However, we have each other's back. That's just the way I've always been. Um, I was good at making casseroles for all of my children. However, I was not that great coming up and coddling men and things like that. Not that I didn't like to, because I do a lot of good things for him too. But he does a lot of good things for me, and we're just equal. He doesn't really bow down to me, and I don't really bow down to him. We're just equal, and that's what I like. We're just normal. He's not someone who's into this like muscle worshiping, but I know he's very proud of who I am, and we're just normal, just, and that's what I like. I just want to be a normal couple. I don't need someone to be, fixing my stuff for me and everything, because most of the time I have a certain way I like everything anyway. So but I just appreciate him. I just appreciate the conversations we have, the things that we do have in common, and the things we don't have in common, because then I get to know new things that I would have never gotten to know, because if it wasn't through him, and vice versa. So that to me is ideal.
yeah. Well, here's the thing: is I'm from the South. We don't bow down to you. We want to hear because you're our woman, be it your mother, be our wives, be our daughters. Not bowing down. The equal shit. We still have to do work and do everything else, but we do appreciate you, and we want to help you as much as we can. We're not saying that you're not saying you can't do it on your own, but it doesn't
Yeah,
hurt when we need to or we have to step in and help when you need it.
there you go. When you
You
have
don't
to.
you
I like that.
you don't have to ask us. We do it because we want to do it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That thing y'all women you know about us men. That's the problem with y'all woman. That's the thing about y'all women. We hate you. At the same time, we love you. We just it's just that love hate relationship with women. I don't know. I don't know, but could I be gay? No, hell no. No, hell no. No. I couldn't be that way. But standing point for it, it's good that he's there for you, and he
Yeah.
understands who you are. He respects you who you are, and if he can support you as a bodybuilder, as a woman, as an athlete, that's good. Anything else is just a bonus, or it's just something you got us to have to talk about later on.
There you go. There you go. Very good. Very
Yeah,
good. Yes.
yeah. So I learned I gotta get a gold star, teacher.
Always, always.
Uh, well, folks, it's a pleasure to have this lady on, and it's great that we hear how she's doing. She's found a new life. She's found new love. Folks. I mean, she's a great lady. I think she deserved this. Especially she served our country. She raised her kids on her own. And still found time to be a bodybuilder. And this is sport is sacrifice. Not only your money, your time, your body,